living in right now.
Yep, and I figured right now would be the best opportunity for us to talk to you because, I didn't even mention it off the air before you got on, but you're one of the first people that we ever interviewed on the site. You've always given us so much love. You've always been there for us when we needed it. So we just wanted to pay respect and talk about your history and your legacy and let the people know what you've accomplished in the industry.
Man, it's a blessing, man. Much respect to y'all. Y'all have always showed Playa, me myself, Static, rest in peace, Static Major, Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have always showed us love, so it's always good to reciprocate, man. And it's always good to. I feel like you know what I'm saying. I feel like you a homie, so it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
as far as the music, man, we can go all the way back to the Jodeci days, being found by Devante of
Yeah,
Jodeci, in the basement crew, you know what I'm saying? Grew up cultivating our skills with the likes of Timberland, Missy, Magoo, Genuine, um, Tweet. Shout out to my Rochester family. Action, you know what I'm saying? Brindle, Reebok, Boogie, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, my homies Enoch, you know what I'm saying, Black and Wild, you know what I'm saying, just then on to um, doing our own career, you know what I'm saying, and
yeah,
really putting our stamp on the music with the writing stuff, and
yeah.
that spectrum from Play Alone um, can go as far as Drake all the way to Al Green,
Yep,
you know what I'm saying? So
yep.
just blessed, man, just blessed.
Yeah, yeah. And so much
Nicole
history to
Ray,
talk
yeah,
about.
Nicole
Yeah,
Ray,
so
shout out to
much
my
history
listeners.
to talk about. Shout out to Nicole Ray as well. But Black, so much history to talk about. But we have to bring it up to date with what you guys are currently doing. A lot of people might not know. A lot of people might know. You're right now a part of Drew Hill. You guys have been touring together for the last, I want to say 2 years now.
Yeah, two
And most
years.
recently, you guys dropped the new record, What You Need, and that's one of our favorites of the year. It has that 90s feel to it, but it still
Yeah,
has that current production. You guys sound great on it. Just
appreciate it.
take me to the creation of that song, and it must be exciting for you to record music and have it come out, right?
Yeah, I mean, as a writer, you always having stuff hit, you know what I'm saying, coming out, but it's always um, a blessing to be able to show your craft, your musical, not just your writing talents, but your vocal talents. And it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor rocking with Drew for the last 2 years. It has been 2 years. We've been everywhere around the world. You know what I'm saying? The new single, "What You Need." If you ain't got it or heard it, you need to go listen to it. Um, just trying to my fault, man. Just trying to restamp R&B in a major way. Um, is what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Who can say that they're able to write for one of the most legendary lead singers, Cisco? You know what I'm saying? So to be able to pen some records on him, watching him, you know what I'm saying? Watching him, his genius
Yeah,
as a vocalist and as a entertainer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sponge, little bro. So
yeah,
I'm always trying to learn. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
mean, when you stop learning, I think you dying. You know what I'm saying? So it's either
Mhm.
for me, it's always I'm trying to evolve into the next stage of my life or the next chapter, however you want to put it.
Yeah. I think the best thing about, you forming now, joining Drew Hill, and I know you're a humble guy, so you're not going to speak on it too much, but man, when we see on Instagram and, there's pictures of yourself smoking Cisco and Nokia together, and people are like, who are the other two? But then we hear clips of you guys singing live, and it's just like they forget about all that, and they're like, wait a minute, these guys are amazing live. It's like that must feel really good, right?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's been shout out to all the Drew Hill fans, man,
Yeah,
for allowing us, for bringing us into the family. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that haven't yet, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? It's a again, Drew Hill's a legendary brand, a legendary group. You know what I'm saying? So to be able
yeah,
to help continue that um, is an honor, and I felt like it was what we should do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Again, anytime you can, you know, who would ever thought that Drew Hill and the player would even,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? That was already far left, if you will. But it's worked out great, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love singing with those dudes. We've been family. We always say we've been play cousins for years. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I do anything for those guys, man. So they needed they called and we came.
I love it. Now, I hate to ask Black because I think we ask you this every 6 months. Where's the album?
Oh my God. Where's the album? I'm gonna say it like this. We worked on let me say it like this. We worked on Aaliyah's last album for over 2 years. And
Mm,
with Drew Hill being such a big brand, and it's not just a big brand. You bringing in a whole new two new faces. We just trying to dot every I and cross every T. But we
mm.
definitely wanted to give y'all a sample of what's to come. So that's why we dropped the What You Need record.
Man, we can't wait for that. We're gonna bug you again in 6 months, and hopefully by then it's out.
Right, right. That's definitely the plan. You know, the 25th year anniversary is coming up, so we trying to something special for that next year. As soon as this, we're able to get back on the road, man, and be in the same place. The social distancing stuff is needed. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's my fault. It's also crazy, and um, it has stopped the process of. It hasn't stopped the process of music. As you see right now, I'm in the studio right now. I actually took a break
Right.
to come talk to you guys, but still,
Cool.
the best thing about it is to be able to feel the energy of the people. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
definitely miss that.
Yep. Can't wait for you guys to get back on the road, put out new music, the whole thing. But
Hmm.
Black, we got to take it back. You guys have so much history. I have to cover all of it here. A lot of people
Let's
want to hear
go.
about the basement. They want to hear about Playa,
Let's
Aaliyah, the
go.
whole thing. So I'm
Let's
going to
go.
start out with this. A lot of people, like you mentioned, you guys started out with Devante,
Hmm.
Genuine, Timbaland, Missy, Magoo. Everyone was part of that crew. So when you guys first got to the basement, who was the first person? And you could say Devante or you could say someone else, but who was the first person when you guys got there where you're like, wow, this is the level. I have to get this to this level talent wise.
I would say honestly, Missy. Tim was real shy. You would just get beats from Tim. You know what I'm saying? He would come out and kick it, hang out. You know what I'm saying? But Tim was really into the music, so I would say him too. But definitely
Hmm.
Missy. The first time, you know what I'm saying, you see a female that can write, can sing, can rap. It definitely lit a fire up on the player to she definitely set the bar. She definitely set the bar. You know what I'm saying? She was doing a lot of work. Um, and she set the bar, man. Missy, Misdemeanor. Shout out to Big Sis.
Shout outs to Missy. Now, when you guys got to the basement, you guys were young at the time. How polished would you guys say you were at that time? Like I've read interviews where, Static at first, he wasn't much of a writer, but he learned to develop into a writer. Like how polished were you guys at that time?
I think polish is a good word. I think it was more so. I think it was more so. We was more polished entertaining wise. You know what I'm saying? We
Hmm.
throughout the Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana area, we did a lot of shows um, before getting with Devante, with the basement. So when it came to the stage and just singing live, that was definitely our forte. But at the time, Devante was working on the last Jodeci album, so um,
Hmm.
when we moved to Rochester, that was kind of the focus. So he just basically gave us a room with you know what I'm saying, with instruments, and it was either learn how to do something, or you don't know when you're gonna be able to get in. You don't know when you're gonna be able to get your turn to work with D. So that's really where it came from. A lot of stuff comes out of necessity. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we just started honing our craft. I remember Smokey. That's when Smoke has taught himself how to play the piano. You know what I'm saying? And we just continued to hone our craft, man. How can you not hone your craft when you got a studio that you got access to 24 hours a day? You got
Hmm.
Devante in the room. You got Dalvin and Stevie J in the room. You got Timberland in the room and Missy in the room. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Sugar floating around, Sister floating around, Genuine floating around, Magoo floating around. You know what I'm saying? The basement, everybody's floating around, going in the room to room. It we always said it was college. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to college. I was blessed to go to the College of Music.
Yeah.
Um, and I always appreciate D Swing for that. I actually spoke with D Swing about a month ago, man. It was the first time in a long time, and it was good to hear my
Wow.
big brother's voice, and he's doing well. You know what I'm saying? He's just being D, man. D likes to be to himself, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to get Devante on here, but we're gonna keep on working on it. But in the meantime, Black, I think the cool thing with you in the basement, I remember the Gin and Juice remix. You're spitting rhymes on that, which
Yeah,
like now we know you as just a singer, but back in the day, you were doing it all.
yeah. We all. I mean, what's funny is I grew up in a part of Louisville, Kentucky called Victory Park, so real real hood. You know what I'm saying? And we used to sing and rap on the corner. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing to
Hmm.
do when we was out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I said that way. You know what I'm saying? To kill time, you might just bust a freestyle. So freestyling and again a necessity. It's either
Hmm.
how do you get in, how do you fit in. You know what I'm saying? So um, yeah, I think Static was one of the dopest unheard rappers you ever. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get the privilege to hear what he could do
Yeah.
as a rapper, but we first, I remember Capital didn't know that actually could sing. They wanted to
Oh.
sign us off. I don't know if you remember heard the song B Party. They wanted to
Yep.
sign us off the song B Party off us rapping, and then we played
Wow.
another record, and they was like, "Hold up, those the same guys." So I mean, it was all about again, you watching Misdemeanor, who can rap, sing. It was like, okay, you got to be able to do more than just rap, sing. You know what I'm saying? So that was the push. That was the push.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. And one of the other things, of course, you guys worked on that third Jodeci album, and
Hmm.
that Jodeci album, the thing that stands out to me are the harmonies, just how they were put together. Just talk about developing those harmonies with Devante. Like, what's the
The
cheat code? Because
Devon, I mean,
no one's
it's
been
no
able to
cheat code.
duplicate that.
It's no cheat code. It's no cheat code. It is Devontae is and was a genius,
Mm,
and he could just hear stuff, and it would just be simple stuff. It wouldn't be even be maybe a whole note. It'd be like he would put harmony on a word, or you know what I'm saying. It wouldn't be the whole line. It was just the way his
yeah,
mind clicked, and I learned a lot from watching him work. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot from watching him produce that album. And I would have to say it's one of the reasons why, if you look at the camp, we've been so successful. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because I just don't think it was just one of us that had the sauce. I think we all had a little bit of that sauce.
right,
Some of us more than others, but we all had that DNA to create something special and unique vocally.
right. That's dope. Now let's talk about Playa. Cheers to you.
Hmm.
Big album, classic
Yeah,
album. Let's just talk about the early development of Playa, Smokey, Static, and Black. You guys are all lead singers. It wasn't like there was just one lead singer in the group. Like, just talk about the makeup of that group. Like, was that intentional?
yeah, it's definitely intentional. Um, at the time, it was just a lot of just front. You know what I'm saying? You have your front man, and then the rest of the group, and
Yeah.
it's again, what do you bring to the table? You know what I'm saying? What can you bring to the table? And then we had a chip on. A lot of people don't know we had a real chip on our shoulder, man. You had to
Yeah.
have a chip on your shoulder, being in the company that you was with. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we always was aggressive about everything. Shout out to my little bro Smoke. Um, other than my brother, I think he's probably my favorite singer in the world.
Wow.
Facts.
That's
So
amazing.
again, so again, I got the on this new Drew Hill album, I got the right for two of the dopest vocalists in my
Hmm.
mind. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I could be wrong. It's all a matter of opinion. You know what I'm saying? But two of the
right.
most dopest vocalists. I mean, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
It don't get no better than that.
Hmm. So, Cheers to You, the album comes out. I think at this point, everyone calls it a classic, just the sound of it. Timbaland
Hmm.
produced half of it, Playa
Yeah,
does the other half of it.
yeah.
Just when you look back at that body of work, what are you most proud of?
First, that's what we set out to do, was put out an album.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it took
Yep,
some time, and I want to say this to people. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared to be patient. Sometimes patience is the best thing. So it took some time, but we was able to create something special, and it was a sound that nobody had ever heard because it was a Louisville sound. You know what I'm saying? It
hmm,
wasn't something that was given to us. It was something that came from us, which is different, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep,
it's easy for you, like we put our heart and soul because it came from our heart and soul. You know what I'm saying? So I always
mhm,
believe what comes from the heart goes to the heart. So, and not and you know me, I'm one of the most humble guys you'll meet. Um,
yep,
it was definitely a classic album. Definitely, Player was probably one of the most underrated groups ever to do it, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep,
it's cool. I got enough plaques to feed my other side of my ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with
yeah.
what we brought to the game and what we added to the tapestry of R&B. I'm cool with that.
And I gotta say, Black, you guys have had a lot of great chemistry with a lot of different people, Aaliyah, Timbaland, Missy, you name it. But the stuff that you guys did with Magoo on that album, Magoo told me that he was going through a breakup at the time, and you guys took him,
Yeah,
you guys hung out, and you guys just
yeah.
recorded music together. Was that kind of how it worked out?
Man, Magoo is the big bro, man, and I love Magoo. Let me tell y'all something. Magoo's one of the realest, and we throw that word "real" around so easy. Magoo's one of the good guys, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um he embraced us. He embraced, he's East Coast VA. You know what I'm saying? He embraced what we was trying to do, and he killed it, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It was a pleasure having him on the record. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate when we appreciated the vibe he brought. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, that was what was so dope about all of us, even with my big brother Genuine. We all came from different places and moved to Rochester. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of for a while just us against the world. You know what I'm saying? So, um, 20 something years later, you know what I'm saying? Um, when I see G, it's still a hug, a big hug. You know what I'm saying? It's my big bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we see each other, the bonds
yeah.
that was formed in Rochester have continued to live and last.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the beautiful thing about those bonds in Rochester, like you guys went through a lot together, you guys struggled together, you guys made music together, so that's a bond that's unbreakable. Just
Hmm.
take me through that time in Rochester. You guys are away from home, you guys are pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Like you guys were forced to be creative at that point, right?
First of all, it's cold as hell in
Yeah.
Rochester. I ain't talking about I ain't talking about Chicago cold. I ain't talking about New York City cold, Manhattan cold. I'm talking about, I don't know. I ain't never been to Antarctica, but it felt like it. You know what I'm saying? Like negative 40, um, negative 40, 20 inches of snow,
Wow.
winter advisory. So I mean, wasn't nothing else to do but do the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, Devante was very smart for taking us out of, because we was in Teaneck at first, so he was very smart for taking us out of Jersey, so close to the city, and getting us away where we could really develop. And it's some crazy. I'm pretty sure you done heard some stories, man. It's some crazy, a lot of crazy stuff that
Yep.
goes on, but it's
Yeah.
such is life. Such is the
Yep.
life we live, man. But I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Devante seeing something in me, seeing something in Smoke and Static, seeing something in Player, to
Yep.
allow us to use that as a vehicle to continue to, progress and evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's fast forward a bit. Play a Cheers to You album drops. You guys
Hmm.
get two singles out of it. It might
Yeah.
not have been the biggest selling album, but people still look at that as a classic. But after that album, you guys, for you guys start writing for other people as well as
Hmm.
working on the second Playa album. Just talk about some of that writing that you guys did behind the scenes. You and Static did So Anxious by Genuine. You guys worked
Yeah.
with Nicole Ray, did some work with
Um.
Tank. Just take me through yourself
Yeah.
as a songwriter.
Um. Just being blessed, man. I mean, at the right time, we was kind of beefing with Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? They made a they was new to R&B, so they made some mistakes that they didn't make later on. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah.
which kind of frustrated us, and it came to a point where we was like, we can get this writing money, or we can go do these little shows. You know what I'm saying? That really ain't, you know, comparable to the writing money. You know what I'm saying? So we
Yeah.
left. We actually left. We was on a radio tour, I think, and we left uh, in Killeen, and we went to LA, and that's when we worked on Same OG, um,
Mm,
Your Address, and Are You That Somebody?
mm,
For the Think Nutty Professor soundtrack. So once we did that, it was pretty much over. Man, mind you, the whole time when we first got with Def Jam, they did try to put us with some producers, and
right.
we was like, "Yo, we write too." And at the time, Static had, rest in peace to Static, he had Pony on the charts. You know what I'm saying? That's us on the background. So it's like you hearing, we know that we got the sound to win, but you dealing with somebody that kind of is new to it's kind of new to the R&B. Watch this, little bro.
Yep.
Imagine this. Imagine you got the number 8 record on Billboard, big record, right? Just use a nice big record, right? But we
Yep.
performing with, and no knock on this, but we performing with all rappers.
Mm.
So the people, we doing a DMX show, and they not the people that necessarily going to see DMX ain't really necessarily want to hear some singing. You know what I'm saying? So we would take half the show to really win the crowd over, man. So we did that a lot, and it just got frustrating. You know what I'm saying? To have to every night. You know what I'm saying? You just you just knew Def Jam, and they got it right. You know what I'm saying? They eventually got it right, but
Yeah.
um, as they was getting it right, our writing our writing careers was taking off, and you know, it's a business. It ends up turning into a business. Um,
Yeah.
I'ma always sing. I sing unconsciously without even knowing. You know what I'm saying? But if I go get this writing money, that's gonna sustain me, and that's what has it's been a blessing. I call it mailbox money. My mailbox still jumping. 20
Mm.
years later, just think about it like this. In the last few years, right? Drake sampled us twice, right?
Yeah.
Chris Brown, and I just got a I just cleared a sample for Justin Bieber for his new record.
Wow.
So
Wow.
come on, man, it's blessed, man,
Now,
blessed,
that's amazing.
blessed.
You know. Now, Black, you got to talk about, the sound of Playa and how it developed after that first album. Some people may not have heard the second Playa album because it never
Woo,
came out. For those
woo.
that did, it was like you guys brought a street twist to it, which I felt like I heard that sound when you guys were in the basement, and you guys
hmm
sort of like brought that back and brought it to a new
Well,
level.
we was dealing with Def Jam, and their model
Yeah,
for R&B groups was the model that was already working. The
yeah,
pretty kind of clean cut. And again, me and Static and Smoke was raised in the West End of Louisville. And anybody that knows about Louisville, the West
yeah,
End is the hood. You know what I'm saying? So as we started getting credibility as writers, we
yeah,
knew on the second album we was gonna take full control. And not saying we didn't have full control of the first album, but we was gonna really do what we wanted to do. And if
yeah,
people, those who have been privy to hear that record, it wasn't just love songs on that record. It was life songs. We was really, I really, now, if I have any regrets, I regret that album not
yeah.
coming out because
Hmm.
I actually think it could have been a if Cheers to You album was a classic, Throwback Legends was gonna. I don't know. It was either gonna it was gonna definitely meet the requirement of that, but I think it could have been an even bigger record because it wasn't. It was like it was like an R&B group record. Like you know how Lauryn Hill's record was just it wasn't just about she had all kind of stuff. She just talked, you know what I'm saying? It was like a life record. It was like
Yeah.
us letting people in on our life. Songs like Incense Burning in My House she was on. You know what I'm saying? Like we was getting ready.
Mhm.
But, that wasn't in God's plan, man. And God, what happens happens and I'm not yeah, don't be a stranger. Yeah. Meet
Yep.
me halfway. Come on, man.
Hmm.
Ride
Yep.
for me. Come on, man. Like uh the album was gonna be crazy, man. The album was gonna be stupid, and I'm sad that the world didn't get the world didn't get to get that piece of Player, man. But um, still here, still rocking for my,
Hmm.
my my big bro, Static Major. Rest in peace. Me and Smokes still able to do what we love to do. Bless.
Yeah. Black, we're still waiting to hear Ludacris's verse on Gravy Train.
Wow. I was just talking about, man. You know what, man? And what's crazy, man, is we had such based off the last album, we had such a big chip on our shoulder. Um, um, I think Kevin or Leo actually the first person that they said to put on Gravy Train was Jay-Z,
Wow.
and we was like, nah, man, you don't want Jay-Z on the record? We was like, nah, we can do it by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a feature. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, what about Ludacris, your homie? What about Ludacris? You're like, we don't want a. In hindsight, we should have took one of those features. Because because look, the record would have came out, and then we wouldn't have left
No.
Def Jamming with the background. So the record would have came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have as many plaques maybe as I got right now
Right.
if I did. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it all works out in the end, man. I'm just glad to be able to share. You know what I'm saying? My music, share my brothers Smokey and Static's music. You know what I'm saying? As player and as individual artists. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed.
Yeah. No. Now we got to talk about the Aaliyah album. You guys did that one. You guys went to Australia to record that one. Just take me back
Yeah.
to those moments. Australia. Someone from Louisville, Kentucky going to Australia. That's
Woo.
insane.
Man, listen, man, I love Australia. You hear me? I love Australia. If it was another place where I would move to, it would probably be
No.
Australia. It would really probably be Australia. Good people. Um, it's an awesome time, man. I mean, you dealing with Aaliyah, and she's always allowed us to push the envelope.
Mhm.
She just say, write what y'all want to write. Just write. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the dope thing about Static was he could tap into a female emotion
No.
and write it as almost if it was a female writing it. You know what I'm saying? Um, that was his. He was genius with that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my genius was the vocal production, singing like
Right.
this. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Let's add this. So it was like a great. It was a great partnership, and I definitely miss him. You know what I'm saying? And still, still, I'm still as long as I'm living, he's gonna be living. As long as I'm moving, Smoke's moving. Player never dies. Um,
Yeah.
we're gonna continue to rock with Drew. Shout out to Cisco, Nokio. Shout out to Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Shout out
Yep.
to Peckable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that is a part of that movement and that could that showed us love and embraced us. Um, but working with Aaliyah, for her to be as big as she was, and like I said, she just write whatever, and I could literally tell her to go in her and whisper, and she would do it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Not you know what I'm saying like for her to have that trust and for us to have that type of relationship, it's hard to it's hard to find. It's hard to it's hard to get that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to duplicate that, man. So I think that's a lot of why R&B is in the shape it's in because nobody's taking real time to you know what I'm saying. It's like let's see who put the most records out the fastest. Nobody's taking
Yeah.
time to really fine tooth comb the music, man. Fine tooth comb the
Mhm.
lyric, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think what's beautiful about that Aaliyah album, when I listen to it even to this day, like it's timeless. Like the production was so unorthodox at the time. Like I don't know how you wrote "So You Got Nerve," because that beat is just out of this world. But you guys were able to do that. Static was able to do it as well. Like there's something about that album
No,
that, like to this
no,
day,
no.
it just sounds great.
We would pick the tracks. Like we didn't. We would pick the odd tracks. We would
Yeah.
pick the odd tracks just because we wanted to test ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be dope. Wouldn't it be dope if we was able to put a R&B song to this, and not just an R&B song before before a chick. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be dope for us to be able to do it? And that's kind of what we did. My father's turning on some lights, bro. That's kind of what we did, man. We always challenged ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And is an artist that um Aaliyah is an artist that she didn't. You know what I'm saying? Her ear for music was different. You know what I'm saying? So again, she allowed us to be us, and we allowed her to be her, and it just worked. It just worked.
Nice. Crazy. So we gotta ask Black, that second
Mhm.
Playa album, I see some comments here. Are the people gonna ever be able to hear that album? For those that haven't?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't even have a copy of it. I have some individual songs.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it's floating around somewhere. Um, I'm pretty sure it's floating around somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Yeah.
even know if Static. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little sister, Avante Garrett, Static's wife. I don't even know if she has a copy of it as well. So,
Hmm.
what up, G? Um, um, I don't know, man, but I wish they could. I mean, I really wish they
Yeah.
could because you know, and I know that
Hmm.
that album was.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm trying to not. I'm laughing because it literally makes me sad that that album didn't come out.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to figure that one out. But let's fast forward then, Black. You start putting out some solo projects. I believe they're on Spotify now, but you did a couple of solo albums. I don't know who was able to catch those ones, but those there are some solid records on there. Just take me to that era in your career.
Um, I kind of got forced into that. I'm a team player. I never wanted to be a solo artist. Let me just say that. It's
Mm.
never been a it's never been a goal of mine. But it was Smoke was putting out records, Static was putting out records, so it was like everybody was like, "What? Like you got to do a record." You know what I'm saying? They kind of forced my hand. They kind of forced my hand with the solo shit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really tripping on the solo shit.
Mm.
Um, I love singing with my brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was cool with that. But I did. The Autobiography is one of my favorite albums. I got to work with DP, Daryl Person, shout out to Daryl Person, and
Yeah.
the Featherstones. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And we just create music, man. You know what I'm saying? When you in the studio, you just create music. I never try to put a like I'm doing this song for this. I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? That's too much pressure on the craft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just do music and it falls where it falls. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we worry about that shit too much. You know what I'm saying? Just do the music.
Yeah.
W- Appreciate you, Wendell Payne. Yeah, Wendell Payne. That
That's a
was
great one.
written and produced by Daryl Person, man. Another guy that was part of the Jodeci camp on the basement.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, the ties are strong with that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna always continue to rock with each other. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna always continue to be able to create together. I have no bad I have no bad vibes or relationships with anybody, man. I mean, I just try to be a
Yeah.
good dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I just try to
Right.
treat people how I want to be treated with
Yeah.
respect and love. And I greet you with that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Sometimes you got to show somebody. So if I feel like you on some goofy shit, I'm gonna greet you with
Yeah.
love just to show you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta show
Yeah. Yeah.
them.
So you dropped some solo music.
Yep.
Static unfortunately passes away 2008. Big
Hmm.
loss to the music industry. Big loss to, of course, yourself and Smoke. I mean,
Hmm.
just talk about Static and what you remember about him.
Uh, been knowing Static since Little League football. Um, we didn't start singing together till we till we got in high school. You know what I'm saying? Right out of high school, our senior years. But it was my brother. You know what I'm saying? From 90, I would say 92, from 92, let's say 92, 93 to 90, 97,
Yeah.
maybe. I was with him every day,
Mm,
you know? And then, I
yeah.
mean, like, so when he died, I definitely lost a piece of me for a while. And it took me a long time to even want to do music because I didn't think I was going to hear it the same way.
Yeah.
Or um, I just wasn't in a place mentally where I wanted to do, where I wanted to do, where I wanted to do anything, man. So I just, it takes time, man. You know what I'm saying? But I know it's
Yeah.
what he would want me to do. And so I got back to it. I got back to it. I kind of, him passing made put perspective on life. So I dove into my family and my
Hmm.
community. I started
Yep.
coaching. I started I started coaching football. I just you know what I'm saying. I just simplified my life a little bit, so I could survive, man. Losing like a brother. You know what I'm saying. Literally losing a brother. Sometimes that shit can affect you in crazy ways, man. So we got back to the music.
Yep.
Um, And I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm on a hell of a run. This Corona shit didn't put me where I gotta be in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
I can't be on the road. So my pen's sharp and we working, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Troy Taylor, the big bro.
Hmm.
TTU. It's my big bro, man. Shout out to him. We making we working.
Black, that's Troy's another one that I harass every 6 months about the album, so you're not alone.
He probably says the same thing I say. We just,
Yep.
I mean, but Troy's a good dude, man. He's a
Yep.
great brother, man. A great brother and a great friend, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, if y'all ain't got no good friends, man, you better get you some. You hear?
Hmm. Yep. So
Facts.
Black, yep. Black, we'll let you go in a minute. Let's take a couple of fan questions here. I've seen a lot of comments here. Let's take about three or four,
That's cool.
and then you'll go back and you'll work on that magic. But if anyone has any questions for Black, but while these questions are rolling in, then Black, just talk about now you're back with Smoke, and I know there was a period where you guys were trying to. Okay, well here's one. Talk about the legendary Planet Groove performance, because that like people still go on YouTube and check that performance out.
It was some. I'm gonna tell you some real shit, and I promise, I mean this in the most humblest way I can say it. We
Yep.
was on some cocky shit, right? Because we a lot of times when people do live performances, they use backgrounds and stems, right?
Mm,
We went straight old school. That was all us 100% singing, no backgrounds, no extras, just them boys, as we say.
mm.
That
Yeah,
Louisville,
because
at Louisville shit. Shout out 502, you know.
because Black Playa is one of those groups that you guys sounded great on records, but when you guys sing live, it's like a whole new level. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you tone down in the studio. You tone
Yeah,
you well you try to. You try to tone down in the studio. You try
yeah,
to. You know what I'm saying? But so when you get on the stage, the energy from the energy from the building and from the crowd, it's a high. You know what I'm saying? It takes you to another level. For me, when I feel the love, and I don't, and I say when I feel the love, it don't gotta be like they cheering for me, but it's the love for me is being able to do this right. So when I
hmm,
hit the floor or the stage, I'm putting my heart out there
yeah.
because I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying. I'm blessed to be able to do this for a living, so I take it very seriously.
That's amazing. And last question for you here, Black. Let's take it back to the basement where it all started for you guys. Just share a memory, a funny story that may have occurred during the basement era that you still, remember to this day.
Um, I remember when we met Mike. I remember when we met Mike Tyson.
Mm,
And first of all, Mike is huge. Like you don't know how you don't realize how big he is until like damn dude is big and
yeah.
he can like beat you up type shit, right? So
Right.
he had just got out of jail and he him and Devante was real cool. So he came to Rochester and he knew not only did he know about Muhammad Ali, of course, but he knew about Louisville. He started naming hoods and shit in Louisville, which
Wow.
was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, everybody else is either from New York or East Coast. So we the country boys. You feel me? So for him to kind of validate Louisville and the Derby and all that, you know what I'm saying, was dope, man. But he took us all out to eat, and it was a real big fancy restaurant, and he paid every head of a table $100 for the table, so we would have enough room for everybody to
Wow.
eat. Yeah, it was dope. Shout out to Mike Tyson, man, real cat.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Black, we're out of time here, but I want to thank you once again for joining us on this. We're going to have you again soon. We're going to try
For
to get
sure,
smoke as well.
man.
And,
Anytime
man, just,
anytime you need me, man, just call. You know what I'm gonna do. You know how I'm gonna show up
yeah,
always.
yeah, absolutely. So, best of luck with everything. Keep us posted. We're going to support you no matter what. So, man,
Okay,
just keep it going. And in 6 months, I better hear that album.
I got you, man.
All right, man,
All
Black, you
right,
take
man.
care.
Yeah, peace.
All right, guys, that was Black from Playa.